Hello and welcome back to my channel, Healthy Spouse, Healthy House. My name is Tony and my channel's focus is on health, wellness, and relationships. Now, you see, I believe that there are 15 different areas of health that any one person can work on at any point in time in their lives. Now, if you want to know how I came up with that concept, you can watch my previous video. Anyway, each week we are going to introduce an area of health, define that area of health, discuss what it means to be healthy in that area. We're going to discuss some healthy habits and we're going to discuss some unhealthy habits in that particular area. And then lastly, we're going to make plans and goals to become healthier in that particular area. Now, if you haven't already guessed, this week we're going to talk about physical health. Physical health was the first area of health that I began working on. When God told me that I was unhealthy, the only area of health that I could fathom or even think about at that point in time was physical health. So because that was the area of health that I began my journey focusing on, that's the same area of health that I want to begin this journey focusing on too. So anyway, physical health is, and this is simply put, it's when all of your bodily functions, processes, and systems are all working at its peak. And that's your own peak, not his peak, not her peak, not their peak, but your peak. And that's what I want to emphasize, that this journey is going to be a personal journey. So you always keep that in mind when you're learning and when you're planning and you're making your goals, that not to compare yourself with someone else, but to do what you can do for your own self and your family. So anyway, so with physical health, I've divided it into 4 separate categories. And in this video, we're going to talk about 2 of those categories. So those 4 categories are education, eating, exercising, and easing. And that's EASING, easing. Okay, so I'm going to urge you to grab a notebook, grab a pen and paper, grab a journal, grab something so that you can write some of these things down. And maybe it'll help you to remember and help you to keep track of, the information, and to keep track of different habits and different things like that you may have. So anyway, moving right along. So going into education, as we talk about physical health, under education is your family history. And when I say your family history, I mean like your family medical history, genetics, and family habits. I know you've heard of the term, oh, that runs in my family, or that runs in that family, or different things like that. That includes genetics and it includes habits, right? So something like, when I say genetics, like I'll give you a story, I'll give you an idea of what I mean by that. So when I was pregnant with my son, I was told that I had a sickle cell trait. I didn't even know that ran in my family until that time. So imagine my surprise and imagine how I felt, because then we had to then get my husband tested to see if he also had the sickle cell trait. And turns out he didn't. But again, that was something that I found out ran in my family after I found that I had it. And so, I mean, things like that are genetics. But, you have other things like alcoholism or addictions and different things like that that may run in a family. And other habits like maybe the way that you prepare food, or maybe the absence of exercising and different things like that could lead to poor health, or anything like that could lead to poor health. Um, Also, that's your medical, that's your genetics, and that's your habits under education. And then you also with education, you have your doctor's appointments, keeping your physicals, keeping your going to your physicals yearly, going to your doctor, whether if you feel like there's something wrong or anything like that in your body, just making sure you're going to your doctor, making sure you're keeping your appointments, your doctors, your specialists, like your OBGYNs, your ENTs, any kind of other special care doctor that you may have, your allergist, you know, any other areas that you may have, physical therapy, things like that. So keeping those appointments, and also your dental work, going to your dentist. That's very important. So keeping those things, and just keeping up with your physical health. So being a partner with your doctors, your dentist, and any other special doctors, so that you can get your lab work done, so that you can get your screenings done. Those types of things will help you to know where you are and where you stand physically. So that's education. And then our next category is eating. And this one, okay, now eating is a hard one, because I know for me, there are certain smells and certain foods that take me way back, to when I was a kid. And, thinking of how my grandmother prepared certain foods, and my aunts, and my mom, and just going back there, and but sometimes, like, we have to think of better ways to prepare those foods. And then, on special occasions, we can have those types of foods. But anyway, getting back to it, those are like, we just gather around, we congregate around food constantly and stuff. So maybe if we can kind of like make some of those things a bit more healthier, or add some more veggies in it or something. I mean, anything. But no. So anyway, a lot of us already know what to do when it comes to eating, right? We already know that we shouldn't eat past a certain time. We shouldn't eat certain things. Even with us having certain ailments and different things like that, maybe our doctors have suggested that we cut back on certain things, and or we do something different. So I'll give you a bit of information on me. Now, 2 years ago, like a few months into this pandemic, I was diagnosed with having pre-diabetes. And when I tell you that it surprised me, but it didn't, like, it surprised me, I was like, whoa. Because honestly, that's not really something that really ran in my family. Here we go. But at the same time, I looked back and I was like, oh, yeah, I was not eating good, and how was I going to know that if I did not keep my physicals and if I did not get my lab work done? So I was able to understand and know that what I had, and then what I had to do in order to reverse it. Some things are reversible. And so that's what started like a lot of the things that I'm doing even now. So things like that. where you have to have a partnership with your doctor, and your doctor can give you information on how to eat better and what you need to do to make your situation a little better. So, so we've covered your education and we've covered your eating. And also, I'll tell you another thing that I'm doing as far as eating. One of the goals and plans that I'm doing is I just started intermittent fasting about a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was not going to be good for me because I have little ones and I have a full day and stuff, but it turns out it's working for me. So, I mean, really think about those things that you can, just add into your day or take away from your day so that you can be a bit more healthier. Anyway, please join me for our next categories on physical health, which will be exercising and easing. Okay, can't wait to see you then. All right, bye.